Hi, and welcome back to the Agent Success Summit. I'm your host, Mike Cerrone of MastermindAgent.com. In this session, Bubba Mills will talk about the 5 advantages for solopreneurs to become an entrepreneur. Bubba Mills is the CEO of Corcoran Consulting and Coaching, the international real estate consulting and coaching company. Bubba has been in the real estate, mortgage, and service industry since 1988. Bubba is a trainer, motivational speaker, coach, and consultant. He's spoken at large conferences like the MBA, predictive marketing conferences, and large franchise conferences, down to local town hall meetings and local associations. Bubba has raised millions of dollars for nonprofit companies such as Boy and Girl Scouts of America, Boys Club of America, local nonprofits, and churches over his lengthy career. I'm honored to have Bubba Mills with us today. Welcome to the call, Bubba.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bubba, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us again this year.
This is year 5.
Can you believe it?
I'm telling you, we're getting old, buddy. We're getting old.
It just keeps rocking on. All right. Well, Bubba, let's do this. Let's just jump right into the material. That's what everybody wants to hear. So my first question is, what is the difference between a solopreneur and an entrepreneur?
You know, it's interesting. Most people don't even, you don't hear the word solopreneur very much, especially in real estate. I mean, everyone says, I'm an entrepreneur. So I'll give you what my definition of a solopreneur is. You know that, when you have kids and your kids, they get old enough where you want to go get a babysitter down the street. That babysitter is a solopreneur. The person that washes your car, that's a solopreneur. That's an individual who works by themselves that have a small business. So when you go and think about real estate, let's put that term into real estate industry, right? A solopreneur is just a single agent that just wants to be a single agent. When you want to become an entrepreneur, that's when you start thinking about it as a business itself. That's when you think about hiring, an admin or adding a team member such as a buyer's agent or a listing partner, a transaction coordinator, so on and so forth. So that's truly when you take that next step of business from being a solopreneur into becoming an entrepreneur.
So an entrepreneur is someone who's leveraging their business through people. They have more than just themselves.
Yeah. A solopreneur is just you. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, I had a couple of solopreneur companies where it was just me banging away on a computer, helping a couple of people. It's good business. Don't get me wrong. But when you want to get into an entrepreneur, if you think about it, that's where we define small businesses, entrepreneurship. That's when we start building businesses. Businesses aren't a person. We've used this comparison tons of times. You're the best chef. You can't have a restaurant if you're the best chef because you can't be the busboy. You can't be, the sous chef. You can't be the matron. You can't. You got to have a team. That's an entrepreneur.
Okay, very good. Well, let's talk about the entrepreneurship in real estate. Let's talk about, I think you have 5 advantages to moving from that solopreneur to that entrepreneur. Let's work through those.
Yep, definitely. I mean, you talk about personal freedom, greater control, limited income, expanded reach, and work-life balance. And those are all dependent on your level of entrepreneurship. And they're benefits. I mean, really, they are benefits of converting from a solopreneur to an entrepreneur. So we talk about personal freedom. Well, look, a solopreneur, more power to you. There's no better freedom than not having anybody to manage, not having anybody to answer to. You pick up the phone, you work when you want to. Amen. That's a great job. You know what I mean? But when you want to start building a business and leveraging your time we always use this term, and that is a great entrepreneur who truly is a CEO of their company needs to work on their company, not in their company. Now, it takes years to do that. Don't expect that to happen overnight or in the first year or 2 years of business, right? Look, some of them, it's just going to happen. You got it or you not got it, But personal freedom is an amazing feeling. You're not working for the man or the woman, okay? It's not an 8 to 5 job. But it's risky, it is. There's no security. There's no security at all. You're not coming in 8 to 5, getting a paycheck, getting vacation 2 weeks a year and getting paid time off and getting part of your insurance paid. In real estate, Half the people don't even have insurance. The ones that, that do have the minimum coverage you can ever get. Half of them don't take vacations. Half of them miss their kids' soccer games, their daughter's dance recitals, their vacations. It's miserable. Those are solopreneurs.
And that's based on the fact that they've got to be the one producing the income. They're the only one producing the income. Nobody else is helping or assisting. If they don't show up at work that day, nothing happens and no income comes in. So it's totally dependent on them.
Well, not only that, they might be producing the income where they can step away for, a week to be able to go on vacation. There's nobody to manage the business while they are gone.
Right.
So without even having a support staff, that's half the team. You got operations and you got sales. So you can build a team either way of it, And when I talk about personal freedom, I mean, that really happens with entrepreneurship, not solopreneurship. When you're by your own, it's you. I mean, you are everything. You are the chef. You're the dishwasher. You're the janitor. I mean, you're everything.
And all the time.
You don't have a life. You know what I mean? Especially in real estate. I mean, literally, you don't have a life. And, it takes a lot of courage, because when you become an entrepreneur, that means that you have a lot more risk. It means that we have a little bit more liability. When we start taking on liabilities such as support staff, it's a fixed cost. So anytime that I have an operations, a support staff, it doesn't come as an asset. It's more of a liability, because that costs us every single month. However, it does not produce an income. It supports an income. However, it's just as valuable as a sales. It's a client experience that happens. So taking that next step in entrepreneurship is taking that next risk. But without risk, there's no reward. And that's where we talk about, the next step in entrepreneurship, and that's greater control.
Well, before we go to greater control, I want to just take another minute on the freedom idea. Where do agents want to go? What's the ultimate? What's the pinnacle if they follow this entrepreneurial path? Where can they end up where they get freedom that we've been talking about, in the sense that they don't have to be there every minute?
So that's interesting. When we talk about clients, like, I'm not here to sell coaching, but I'm going to give you a couple of examples. We have clients that started with us at the 19 transactions that in 1 year did 4.9 million, went to doing 60 transactions for $10.5 million, that got an admin and a buyer's agent that took 2.5 weeks vacation on a cruise. Okay. That's amazing. That was what their goal was. Okay. That's what they wanted to do. So they're building a team. Now, some of them, they got to build year and a half, 2 years. The next step to that is building a team where they can work on the company. We have a client, no joke, been with us 8 years. Her name's Kathy. I'm only going to say the first name. She doesn't want to do more than 160 to 170 transactions and no less than 125, because she hates people. She doesn't want buyer's agents. She doesn't want to manage people. She has 2 licensed assistants. She hates people. She doesn't want to manage people. She got her first buyer's agent last year, and that's because her daughter turned 18. That's her definition of success. That's what she wants. All the way up to, we've got clients that do 900 transactions a year. That's a mega team. We've got, on that team, I think we've got 12 buyer's agents and 9 listing partners. That's a machine. That's a company. Now, the interesting part about it is, when we talk about entrepreneurship, those companies, right, those mega hitters, I want you to think about that they do more gross sales than their local McDonald's does. And most people don't think of it. I'm just a real estate agent. I'm this little business. I want you to think about when you're doing, we've got some clients, I've got a client that has a brokerage. They got 4 market centers, 4 RE/MAX offices that did $430 million for 3,000 transactions, and a team that did 212 transactions for about $85 million. There's no company in their town that did close to that, okay?
Sure.
So they are the largest producing gross sales in their entire town. He is probably the most humble person you've ever met in your life. But we don't think of ourselves as big companies. Oh, I only made X. It doesn't matter. You're a powerhouse. And we'll talk about expanded reach here in a little bit. That is the growth strategy that every single person needs to think of. What are you capable of? And what can you use, not abuse, what can you use the power of your company and your entrepreneurial skills to help your community?
Okay. Yeah, and just that last idea on the freedom concept, my understanding is it's a continuum, and you've kind of talked about that from being the solopreneur and you start stepping up with help. You can stay in the business working day to day, but eventually you can get to, I think Gary Keller called it the 7th level, where the operation runs without you.
Right.
And that is a lot of freedom. You have income coming in. You don't have to be there every day to handle all the transactions personally. That's a pretty high level of freedom for most people, and an ideal that very few reach. But that's a continuum reaching up to that. Is that true? I mean, you've talked about this fellow who was doing all these transactions in his town. Could he walk away for a couple of days and the business just keeps running?
So here, I'll give you an example. We had a client came to us that within 2 years wanted to pay cash for a strip mall in Costa Rica and move to Costa Rica. Okay? In 12 months, we increased the cash flow of the company, paid cash for a strip mall in Costa Rica, lives there 6 months a year, comes back to the States 6 months a year, has a general manager, a sales manager, operations manager, talks to him once every 2 weeks. That's it. Just checks in once every 2 weeks. Money's direct deposit into the bank account. Doesn't talk about anybody about anything. He's now opened up a mortgage company, a title company, an enhancement to his real estate company. That's an 8th level entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
I've
got some clients that have now opened up hard money companies. A lot of our clients, we help open up mortgage companies. We do ABA title agreements, open up insurance companies, property management companies. They're entrepreneurs get bored. Like, I've mastered my skill, now what? Don't go open a snow cone company. Don't get me wrong, right? But,
Sure.
If you come to us, we'll help you open up other companies within your industry and leverage your brand in your community to be able to leverage other business ideas, to be able to monetize your relationship. That is freedom. That is, I call it wealth management on your own brand.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. I want to get a big picture for everyone. Maybe they haven't thought that far out of where these things could go. And thank you for helping us brush the strokes there for that picture. So the next of the 5 advantages of moving this direction, you mentioned, are greater control. Tell us more about that.
So I mean, literally, I wish we could do this for 4 hours. Here's the thing. Again, we talk about several layers, okay? You're a single agent. You have control of your business. Don't get me wrong, right? But you're under somebody's brand. So you've got a couple of levels at that point. You can either create a team under somebody's brand, right? Which would be the next step. And I suggest that step. And the reason why is because you get support when you build a team. And that support comes with, a lot of times it comes with canned company policy. So it comes with handbooks. It comes with usually a CRM. It shows you how to do lead generation, so on and so forth. So that's like the next step. And then after that, you can choose if you want to go buy a franchise model, open a market center, or you go independent. You choose what your layer is going to be on it. But there's several layers of control that you need to do. We've got several clients that go independent because they want to build their own name, right? So I've got several teams yearly that go from mega franchises to go independent. And we've got just as many teams that go independent going, nope, I'm going to go back into a franchise.
Yep, see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's hand in hand. So I can't tell you which one's best. It's got to be for you. I mean, we literally sit down, and that's usually about a week conversation that we're analyzing what we're going to get for return. What's the cap wrap going to be? What's the value proposition from the brand? How's it going to look? So on and so forth. So when we dive into it, and then, that's from a single agent. When an agent comes to us that wants to build a team, okay, when we start from that scratch level from an agent that wants to build a team, we have to look at what's the best brand for them. That's where it has to start. Okay. So with that brand, we look at all the different franchise brands, or is it a local community brand? Where's that park going to be at? All the way up to, I've got a team, do I want to move a team to a different brand? You have to define what your control level is going to be. Along with that, also defines what you're willing to pay for out of your pocket versus what's a brand going to give you. The more control you take, the more money it costs. You go to a KW or a Remax, boom, you got the systems, you got payrolls, you got everything else. You want higher control, you want to go on your own, you're paying for the systems, everything else. But a true entrepreneur that wants to go, I want to create Bubba Real Estate. I don't want to create anything else, okay? That's when control is at its greatest. Risk is at its greatest. Freedom is at its greatest. Work-life balance is at its greatest. I mean, that's nirvana. If you think about it, that's what everybody wants. Nobody wants to work for anybody else. If you think about it, even the people that like security, come in 8 to 5, get a paycheck, they just love security. Deep down in their heart, they still want to have control. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You can't teach hunger. I use a statement all the time. I can't teach hunger. If you got that hunger, man, you want to have the greatest control you can have. And that's why the progression goes. Freedom, control. You want to have more freedom? You have to have greater control. So you control the aspect. You control the lead generation. You control what you want to do. You control your day. You know what? You say, I only want to work 4 days a week. I have time management. I can do listing presentations, buying presentations on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, because Wednesday is my son's baseball day and my daughter's dance studio. I'm taking Wednesdays off. You have that control. And you can run a successful business if you manage the time properly, build the right systems and have the right follow-up, and build the right team around it. Does that help?
Well, Bubba, I want to go back just to one thing you mentioned. You said sometimes you bring in people that are right there at the beginning. They're the solopreneur. They're doing everything on their own. They want to build a team. They want to start moving this direction. What do you do as far as vision? How far out do you project them? Do you just project them in the next year, or do you try to get as far down the road in their mind of where they want to go off the bat?
So when we talk about solopreneurs that come in, our coaching company, they have to have a desire to build a team for us to coach them. If they just want to be, a single agent, and look, I'll give a shout out to Ferry, Proctor, Buffini. We send them over to them. Amazing coaches. They have to have a desire to be able to build a team. If so, then we'll help you do that. When we sit down with them, the first coaching call is, what is your definition of success? We have to know what that end in sight looks like. So with that end in sight, needs to determine on what size team it's going to be, how much control they have. And also, a lot of it has to determine on what kind of reserves we have. And sometimes limited reserves means we have limited options. Just fine. That's not a problem at all. We can still build a team, limited reserves. I mean, if you got at least $600 or $700 a month, I can get you marketing. That's not a big deal. We can do some elbow work. I mean, elbow grease all day long. We can make it happen. Okay. You got a little bit more money, we can build a bigger brand. We can do it a lot faster. We can work on that. So we like to look at 3, 6, 9 month strategy. And then we're looking at a 1, 3, 5, is what it comes down to. With that end in sight, we got to know what that big picture is and what the steps are to get there.
Very good. Well, let's keep going down the 5 advantages. We had personal freedom. We had greater control. What's the next one?
Unlimited income.
Like that.
So, and we've touched on a lot of them, that we've talked about in the last 2. Look, our clients, no joke, we don't stop with real estate. I think, look, I'm an entrepreneurial spirit at heart. I've never opened up one company and been there. I own an identity theft protection company, a collection agency, you name it. If I can make money at it, damn it, I'm doing it. I'll tell you that right now. If you think about real estate, USA Today did an article, back in 2008, 2009, and it said real estate touches 25% of all jobs in the United States. Think about that. That's power right there. So you just selling real estate, you're not just an agent that's making a consumer's dreams come true, okay? You're actually a huge financial piece. 2008 proved it, okay? And not only that, but it also proved, there was a statement that said, if United States if United States sneezes, China catches a cold. Yep, that happened too. You know what I mean? We lost a lot of mortgage-backed securities on this thing. More U.S. securities are coming back. We're doing a lot more of our own, and we have a lot more control of it, a lot more jobs back into it, a lot more is affecting. I think it's well higher than 25% today. So let's talk about unlimited income. You're a successful agent in a community that has done the right touch, has built the right brand, been there a long time. Your kids are playing sports in there. You've been on the PTAs. You're that person. Why are you limiting yourself just selling real estate? So here's the thing, right? I did real estate and mortgage at the same time. That's right. Because back in the day, you could do that. You know what I mean? So I did both. Okay, so I was getting the money on both sides. Now, if I was smart back in the day, I would have also done title and escrow. Here's the blessing. Depending on the states, disclosure, depending on your states, don't go do this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. Throw a disclosure out there. We can do an ABA. We can do a little JV partnership. You open up an LLC. The title company opens up an LLC. You own an LLC, and you get paid a percentage of the policies. Some states you can get $400. Some states you can get $1,500 per policy, and you're not doing anything. You guys hire it. You and them own a company that hires people to do the work, and you get the income out of it. You can also get your insurance license. Look, this is brilliant. I'm telling you right now, multi-level marketing, I hate it. Amway, I'm not a fan of any of this stuff. But I'm telling you right now, insurance, it's a hoax. It's a scam. It's a friggin' moneymaker. I think everybody should have an insurance license. And this is why. I make money on you for life, Mike. If I'm going to sell your house, you think I might have a little influence on, look, you need to go get a homeowner's policy. Look, I have a license, disclosure, you know what I mean? But here's a quote that I have. You can go compare it to anywhere else you want to. Okay? Do the quote. I get paid on the premium, and every year you make a payment, I make money for life. On and on and on and on. And it's residual income forever. That's the amazing. It's a multi-level, and I get paid for everybody down the line for me. I mean, it's a blessing, and it doesn't cost you much. You know what I mean? So you got property management, you got title, you got insurance, you got mortgage. You've got so many. Look, no joke. I've got a client that opened up a land development company and then opened up a construction company because new construction was so slow. She built those up and then sold it to somebody else and retained ownership rights. Any lots that were done, she got all listings on it. And then she went and did a contract with a cabinet company and went and did wholesale pricing to the developers and said, you got to buy all the cabinets on these lots through me, and just made a margin on all the cabinets. Anything else?
Sure.
There's no storage. You just buy them through me, and I make money. If you keep it in the industry, keep it in what you don't go open up a coffee shop, people. You don't know how to run a coffee. If you do, more power to you. I don't know how to run a coffee shop. I'm not going to go open a coffee shop. But I'm going to maximize my opportunity in this industry. That's what I'm going to do.
Bubba, those are all great ideas. I like the idea of expansion. I just want to point out to everyone, and you mentioned it a little bit, that if you get into those ABAs and so forth, you do need to have an attorney and your broker involved to make sure that you're following all the rules so you don't get yourself in hot water. And you definitely can do it if you follow the rules properly, but you do need to make sure you're going down the right path. Would you agree?
Yes. Disclosure. Thank you for redisclosing my disclosing.
Exactly. A lot of disclosure to the customer. Make sure you do everything correct.
And that's the thing. If it's done right, look, guys, don't cut corners. Get an attorney, make sure it's legal, everything else, And again, different states have different laws. If you're in one of those states going, Bubba, that's wrong, if you're in that state, you're right, I'm wrong. And all the other states are going, Bubba, you're brilliant. You're right, I'm brilliant. So get legal advice. And I'm telling you right now, out of all the ones that I talked about, there's probably 3 or 4 you can do in your state.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that ABA is it's an affiliated business arrangement. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and that's a
or
government
some of them are called JV, which is a joint venture. You know, you can, depending on what the state is, the acronym. You know.
And the reason you can do it is because you're an owner and you're receiving profit. You're not receiving a percentage cut of each transaction. You're receiving profit at the end of the month based on all the business activity of that business.
Exactly. So it's not a kickback. It's not CFPB regulated. It's not anything else. You own the company. Right. You and another company own a company.
Very good. Well, thank you for opening our eyes to some of those opportunities. So you have unlimited income. That's number 3. What's number 4?
Expanded reach. So I've built every one of my companies, Mike. But I'll tell you right now, I should not be called CEO. I should be called expert networker. I've built every one of my companies on a network. Before I go open a company, I say, hey guys, let me ask you a question. If I did A, B, C, and D, would you help me with this? And how could you help me if I helped you do this? That's what I did. I put one person together that's an expert at doing this. Somebody here needs help. I put them together. They make business, and they love it. And they say, hey, Bubba, how can I help you? And that's what we do. So here's the thing. Every one of you, you don't sell real estate. So here's the interesting part, Mike. If you called all of my clients that have been clients for 25 years and anything I've ever coached any of my clients on, and you ask them, did Bubba teach you how to sell real estate? Not one of them are going to say yes. Okay? 100% of them are going to say, Bubba taught me how to run a business. It just so happened to be I'm in real estate. I'm in mortgage. Look, I have a cannabis company in California that wants me to coach them on how to open a cannabis company. I don't know anything about cannabis, okay? And I don't know anything about cannabis, guys. Don't think twice about that. I don't know anything about cannabis, but I know how to open companies. I know how to run companies. I got insurance companies that I coach. I've got web development companies, okay? That's what it comes down to. You are not just a real estate agent. You're a professional business. You are an expert marketer. You are an expert communicator. Your tools, your services that you do on a daily basis are so powerful to be able to go work with a local nonprofit, to be able to help raise funds. Your brand, your reputation is so powerful. And we're not using it. We're not using it for good. Being a PTA member, I'm telling you right now, I blew it up when my kids were in school. They were like, oh God, Bubba, thank you very much. I'm like, look, I can get blood from a turnip and a rock and anything else. Because I'm a master salesman. That's what I do for a living. You know what I mean? But I'm also a great finance guy. I can teach you how to make money. Every single person that's listening to this, you're a great salesperson. You're a great communicator. You're a great people person. Use your skills in your community. Use your skills for nonprofits. Use your skills at schools, at senior centers. Volunteer help. Look, I'm telling you, okay? And I'm going to say this on this. I have a friend. See this right here? It's called Real Estate Wednesdays. Friend of mine, Joanna Joseph Calloway in Arizona. They are, I'm telling you, I could cry telling you this story. They are the most amazing couple I've ever met in my life. Coached them 10 years ago. So the Salvation Army had a problem on Wednesdays, Maricopa County, or in Phoenix, Arizona, about getting people to ring the bells and kettles on Wednesdays. And they actually had to pay people to come. And Joanna Joseph said, no, we'll do it. And you know what? All the real estate agents in Maricopa County, they'll do it. Quit paying people. And she walked out and went, oh, my God, I just volunteered all the real estate agents in all Maricopa County. And you know what? She did it. And you know what? She started this movement. And it's now in 3 states. And she's asked me to help her open it up in Illinois. And I hope everybody that's listening to this, you get a hold of me and I'll help you open it up in your state. Because I have the power of the voice to do this. That you will ring a bell on Wednesdays in December and help your community. And you know what? We, as people in our industry, we have sellers that want to go have garage sales and get $150 for a couch or something. Donate it to the Salvation Army and get a higher donation. And let's get kids off the street and help with their drug and sexual abuse programs. That's the way to do it. Use your powers for good. Okay? And I didn't mean to use this as a plug, Mike. I swear to God, it just jumped up and I was sat on my desk, and I apologize.
That's
but
all
that's
right.
a perfect example is we have the power to make good, and you are professional business people. And I'm telling you right now, you want to grow your business, you help small businesses around you, and you know what? You build rapport and you work no more. I swear to God.
Well, you were talking about, the way we got on that track was you were talking about expanding your reach. You were talking about affecting more than yourself, networking yourself out there. The fact that a lot of these nonprofits, as well as other businesses, they need the skill we have of sales, and that's going to help us in our business as well as other businesses that we decide to work on. And also out here in these charities as well. They can use us as well. And all that big network, whatever you put out tends to come back, doesn't it? So in a roundabout way, it's going to help you grow your business even more.
Well, and here's the thing. Every premise of every business I've ever built, I just give. I mean, we have at any given time 3 to 4 clients in every given month that I coach for free. And you know what? I do that for a reason. They can't afford coaching. I do it for free. And you know what? 90% of them come back later and become paid clients. You know what? I do it on the kindness of my heart and say, look, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you be better at your craft. And please, everybody, don't call me free coaching, right?
Sure.
But you know what? And my preferred vendors, the Commissions Inc. of the world, and the Chime and the Torchex and Home Warranties of America, all of my affiliates, you know what? We all do it. I mean, that's just it. We give, and you know what? It comes back. That's just it. We give back, Mike, you've given back so much, it's not funny, You never ask for anything, but you get so much back. And you know what? Bless you for that. I mean, seriously, bless you for that. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Bubba. It's a pleasure. It really is fun to give back.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba, let's keep going down our path. We've got our 5. We've hit 4. We have personal freedom, greater control, unlimited income, expanded reach. What's number 5?
My favorite, work-life balance. Work-life balance.
How do you define work-life balance? What do you mean by that?
I'll define it this way. I worked in corporate America, the largest mortgage company in the United States, largest servicing company, called Option One Mortgage. I gave up my life. I gave up my family. I traveled for a living. I couldn't go to my kids, nothing. We went on a cruise, and I swore to God at every port, laptop, iPhone, everything. It was horrible, absolutely miserable. And I was saying, oh, yeah, I get 2 weeks vacation. BS. Seriously. I could have lost my family, my wife. I can get a new job, people. I can't get a new family. You want to know the definition of work-life balance? Last cruise I went on, my team said, Bubba, don't even take your phone with you. We got this. We got this. Okay? Definition of work-life balance is on Tuesday, my wife comes to me and says, hey, babe, let's go to Branson this weekend. Already talked to the team. They got it covered. They'll cover your emails. They'll text you if they need something. I got the timeshare. Let's go. That is a life. We work our butts off. We travel. Last year I did 37 speaking engagements.
Wow.
Okay? So we travel a lot. And that's not vacation, Mike. That's speaking at different organizations, at different associations, Triple Play, Big E, Masterminds. I mean, you name them. I speak at them, right? We don't get to play at those. I mean, that's work, right? And for me to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to take an extended weekend. We got a cruise coming up in May for 14 days, right? My team, we got this, Bubba. Thank you. We appreciate it. We let our team off every Friday at 3 o'clock. As long as they don't expect it, they get off at 3 o'clock. Because you know what? Sometimes we work until 5:30 or 6. When we have events, we don't get off till 9 o'clock when we do boot camps here in town, right? So if you figure 2 hours a week, 52 weeks, that's 104 extra hours on top of their sick and vacation pay. And it's just because. However, the minute they take entitlement on it, if they're standing on my door at 3 o'clock with a purse in their hand, I'll take it away in a heartbeat. But here's my rule. Everybody leaves at the same time because I expect everybody to have work-life balance. We went out on Valentine's Day and everybody said, shut down at noon. Go home and enjoy your families because we want work-life balance. It's not always about raises. So I'm going to talk about it two ways. As an entrepreneur, not only your life with your family, but the people that work for you having a work-life balance. We can't just beat the crap out of them because they work for us because we want to have an amazing life. We don't have turnover at my company. I have not lost a person except for someone that moved in 3.5 years. Every time somebody stays with your company, their value doubles. I've got people, Hannah, been here the longest, started with me when she was 19. First full-time job. She's been here 9, 10 years. I got people 9, 8 years, 3 at 7 years. I mean, they're just here. You know why? Because we give them a work-life balance. We make them take a personal day. Hannah, take tomorrow off. You need it. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So I'm talking as entrepreneurs two ways. You need to have a work-life balance. You need to have a team that will allow you to play just as hard as you work. But you, as being the master, you being the CEO, have to allow them to have the same. If not, you're a hypocrite.
Sure. Yeah, I've made that mistake early on. I brought in an employee, an independent contractor to help me, and I wanted to take a vacation. Then he asked to take a vacation. I told him he couldn't because I was on vacation, and it all crumbled very fast. It was an early lesson. I learned that the hard way. So I agree with you totally. You have to start looking out for your people just as much as you're looking out for yourself.
True. And you know what? Having that respect, I'll tell you right now, there's one powerful word I can tell every single person when they become an entrepreneur, and that's humility. Humility, I'm telling you, get out of entitlement, get out of judgment, get into curiosity, have humility. And you know what? That's not only an advantage of being an entrepreneur, that's an advantage of expressing entrepreneurship.
Very good. Well, Bubba, when is the timing? When is the right time to go from that solopreneur over to that entrepreneur? When should you make the transition?
So that depends on you. It depends on what your definition of success is. There's several people, they're just happy. I mean, I'm just happy being by myself, making the amount of money I'm doing it. When you feel the pressure, you have that ambition to take it to that next level. You are bursting at the seams, or you see greatness and you just can't get there, or you're limiting yourself because you don't have it. That's the time to reach. That's the time to make that commitment to go to that next level, is when you're holding yourself back, or when you see yourself knowing, I can't grow. I can't get any bigger. I mean, I'm either going to make what I'm going to make and just stay where I'm at, or to make it to the next level, I've got to become an entrepreneur and stop being a solopreneur.
And those pain points could come from a lot of different sources. It could be because your income gets capped. It could be because you're not having enough freedom to get out there with your kids and your family and others. It could be, as you mentioned, because your customers are requesting and requiring more of you, and you just can't stretch yourself out. You're getting too thin. A lot of different reasons for why that could come about. But it's an internal desire to move forward and get some of those things we talked about, I assume, like the freedom.
Yeah, and it's, I'm telling you, I hope everybody thinks about those 5. Write those 5 down. Personal freedom, greater control, unlimited income, expanded reach, and work-life balance. Every conversation you have after you listen to this. And you know what? There's I don't know how many speakers you have this year, Mike, but I'm telling you, last year, I mean, amazing. I don't think there was one speaker that I listened to that I didn't get nuggets out of. I want you to think about all 5 of those and listen to every single speaker And all 5 of them will have those qualities. And what they're teaching you are those qualities of life. That's just, it's amazing how you don't think about those until somebody talks about them. You're like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. We're ready.
Yeah, we get stuck on that treadmill and we forget there's another way to do it.
There is. Get outside, smell the air.
Right. Hopefully we'll open the windows here. So let's take that. What's the next part? If somebody is ready, they've decided, they've committed themselves to take that leap, what are the steps that they need to take? What's next?
I don't know how to say this. You have to recognize your weaknesses. You already know what your strengths are, right? You know what you can do to make it to the next level, but you have to check your mindset, okay? A lot of people are saying, look, I know I can take it to the next level. I know I can do this. But if you're not checking we call it a SWOT analysis. It's part of something we're going to give you at the end. But if you don't look at what your weaknesses are and your needs, and if you don't have a true definition of what your success is, I'll give you this one example. If you live in Omaha, Nebraska, and you're going to go to San Diego, California, you're going to do one thing. You're going to go to a GPS, and it's going to give you a map. If you don't have a map of where you're going to go, you got no way in hell to be able to get there. All right? So I ask you to get a GPS on where you want to go. And I want you to know what your weaknesses are. And that is the most powerful strength you can ever have, is knowing what your weakness is. Because that, my friend, is where you you convert from a solopreneur to an entrepreneur, because you hire to your weakness. Look, I'm great at operations. I hate it. I mean, hate it. My first hire, admin, I hate it. Let me sell, let me market, let me advertise, let me speak, let somebody else handle all the other stuff. That's why I bought my first company. You know what I mean? Because that was my weakness. That is recognizing what my strengths were. After that, you got to refine it. Every once in a while, we got to recheck what we did. We got to look at our mission, our mission, our vision, our core values, what our statements are. We got to look at what we did wrong. So I want you to use 2 quotes. Okay? One quote is, I've never failed at anything in my life. I just know how not to do it 25 different ways. Okay? Here's the other one. Okay? I learn more from my failures than I do my accomplishments.
That's true.
You know what, people? I'm telling you right now, the best part about being an entrepreneur, nobody else knows you fail but you. It's like being an agent and you screw up your script and you're on the phone with a buyer. The blessing is they don't know what the script is. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay, people. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Shake it off. Do it again. It's okay. Learn from it. Learn from it. Do it again. Tweak it a little bit. Shake off the dead weight. Okay? And just take what you did great and make it better. And then add the little pieces. No, you know what? I did this good, but I think with this I could do better. And sometimes this isn't you. That's when we determine that a system or a person or something can help you with that piece. We have to refine it and refine it. When we talk about refining it, I'm not talking once a year. As you're starting your business, okay, don't micromanage yourself. Don't look at it monthly, okay? Don't look at your income every single day. Don't look at your income weekly. You're going to look at your income every other week, okay, for the first couple of months so it gets in check. Then you're going to look at it once a month, and then when you get established, okay, we are going to look at it on a quarterly basis because we're going to be writing our checks. Your goal is to write yourself a check every single month. We're going to have a salary. Everybody's goal is have a salary, and then we get paid on dividends based on profitability. That's our ultimate goal. And then after that, recruit. Okay? Never take your foot off the recruiting foot. I mean, literally, I have clients that have career day every month for 5 years, and they're going to continue for 10 years. Never take their foot off the button. Never. Keep it going. Recruiting is an ongoing process. If I got somebody who fits my culture, they have what I'm looking for. They have the hunger, because I can't teach that. I can teach you. I can give you tools, resources, scripts. I can't give you hunger. I'll find a seat on my bus for you. I'll tell you that right now. I'll find a seat if you deserve to be on the bus. Does that help?
Wow. And you also mentioned a really interesting concept there in the beginning. You said that you want to bring into your weakness. You want to have people support what you're not strong in, because if you just brought in people just like you, then they're going to make the same mistakes and have the same weaknesses you've had. Exactly.
If you had 6 flaming eye personalities together, you'd have so much fun but getting a damn thing done. If you had 6 D personalities together, you'd all argue and have no fun. You know what I mean? You got it. Yeah. A perfect balance is have one of every single personality in your office. I mean, that's it. You got to hire to your weaknesses, not always your strength. A lot of times we need to hire people that will help complement you so you can double what you're doing. But you got to look at what your weaknesses are. And it's okay. Every person has, if somebody says they don't have a weakness, I'm sorry, there's one perfect man and it's not me and he has long hair. I'm just telling you that right now. Okay? So if they say that, I'm sorry, that's not somebody I want to do business with. I'll just tell you.
Sure. Smart. Yeah. Well, Bubba, you've done a great job. You know, we're starting to run low on time. You did a great job of talking about going from solopreneur to entrepreneur. Thank you for doing that. And I don't want to lose out here. I know you have an incredible gift, a free gift for everyone who's listening. Could you tell us a little bit about the free gift and where they can pick it up?
Sure can. As always, if you go to www.agentsuccesssummit.com/BubbaGift, what we're doing this year is something a little bit different. It's a multi-page document, and we're going to give it to you in a Word and PDF format. So you can actually, it's going to be an editable document that you can use today. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to use a piece of paper to make sure I got everything on this thing. This is really a business plan in a box. So this is what it's going to have. All right. It's going to have a guide to build your mission and vision statement. It's going to have a SWOT analysis sheet. It's going to have your business objective sheet. This is where we build with the end in sight. It's going to have your personal objective sheet. So we can talk about what your personal goals are. If you're going to pay off debt, if you want to get a 42-foot RV like myself. Your goal achievement system, income goal setting, cash flow budget worksheet, action plan for goals, your business marketing plan. And I'm also going to include, I just wrote a brand new article. It's going to be published actually next month. And it's called Mindset for Entrepreneurs. And it's really, I call it the 6 inches between your ears. And that's really the change between a solopreneur and an entrepreneur. It's just changing the mindset. You've got it all in here. You got the spirit. You got the hunger. You got the heart. It's just changing the 6 inches between your ears. I'm telling you, this document will be absolutely amazing for you. You know, sit down, beach, poolside, at a park, at a lake, quiet time, fill it out, share it with a partner, fill it out again, fine-tune it. I just gave you your GPS coordinates to go from solo to entrepreneur, okay?
Wow. That's an incredible package. I hope everybody goes and picks that up. Bubba, thank you so much for presenting that package to everybody and offering that gift. Thank you so much for this session, all this great information. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
I appreciate it. You know what? 5 years, we got it down. I'm waiting for 6 through 15, buddy.
That's great.
By then, we'll be like virtual, like, you know, Michael Jackson, like holograms.
Hologram. Right. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bubba. Well, if you liked what you heard, consider getting a copy of this session's recordings plus all the sessions from all the speakers. Just go to www.agentsuccesssummit.com/special and pick up a copy during the half-off summit sale. Don't wait till the price of the recordings doubles after the event. Get your copy today, save half, and add it to your success library. Then every time you listen, you'll pick up another great idea for your business. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you in the next session. Bye.